Hey everyone, I'm going to take a look at the new Spanish League Player of the Season pack on eFootball. As always, I'll put timestamps in the description for each player, so if there's a particular player you want to hear about, to click in the description and there'll be a link to take you straight to them. So let's start with one of the lowest rated. Got a few 93s in here. We'll start with Dani Raba. So this guy is a creative playmaker. He's normally a roaming flank. They changed him from a roaming flank to a creative playmaker. Normally a right forward, they change it to right midfield. That doesn't make any difference. He's still got both positions. He can play through the middle as an attacking mid, SS or striker as well. It's the first time I've had a feature version of this guy. He does not have a face scan. Only standard form, not overly two-footed. He's a lefty. What they've done for his GP card, we've lost 4 points of attacking awareness. Why? But we've had a boost on his tight possession, his end product. Middle and right columns both boosted pretty nicely. Only 2 in acceleration, but apart from that, yeah, pretty nice boost on a lot of attributes here. And then skill-wise, we've gained a bunch of skills. Don't think we've lost anything. We just gained cut behind and turn, long range curler, through passing is new, pinpoint crossing, and outside curler. I've had a bunch of nice skills added there. So for a lefty who's quite possibly going to play on the right, I mean, his low pass is 75, so he is probably going to play on the right, isn't he? Let's just look at that quickly, actually, his position. So yeah, as an attacking mid, 75 low pass. Even if he's got all the passing skills, his low pass will not be good enough for attacking mid. SS, you could get away with it maybe if you're focusing more on getting shots away, but he's a creative playmaker. His finishing's not amazing at 76. So yeah, I'm not sure about SS. Centre forward, certainly with the attacking weight 78, finishing 76. I'm not looking at this guy as a centre forward at all, even if he's good in a lot of other areas. I think wide right is probably, yeah, it's definitely going to be where you're going to get the most value out of this guy. So skill-wise, if he's playing wide right as a lefty, soul control, long-range curler, long-range shooting, he's got one touch and through, pinpoint crossing, outside curler, yeah, good session skills for a left foot on the right and inverted winger. The playmaker playing style, I always say it for me, I don't like it on a winger. If you saw one of my last streams when I was trying out for Kundo Torres, the Showtime player, I was kind of demonstrating why it frustrates me, because he keeps kind of drifting inside and even kind of dropping back almost into a kind of orchestrator kind of position, and it's just not what I want from a winger. I want my wingers to make attacking runs, but that's personal preference. If you're okay with the playing style, could be right wide on the right. He's got a bit of pace. He's okay on the ball. The lofted pass is decent when he cuts back onto his left foot, puts a cross in. You can have a decent cross on him. He does have an outside curler. He can maybe cross it with the outside of his boot as well on some occasions. 76 finishing is not amazing. Could be worse. He's got a little bit of curl, bit of kicking power on him. He's got long range curler, long range shooting. So his long range curlers could be decent. I think it's just one of these cards where he's kind of all right. Like I said, I don't rate him through the middle. His passing, I don't think is good enough. Up front, I don't think the most important attributes are high enough. Wide right is not amazing, but I think this is just one of these cards where, you know, we're starting with the lowest rate ones. We can't expect too much this early on. But I think really the best you can say for this guy, and all these cards obviously can be used in the Spanish League Challenge. I think for that, he could be a handy one off the right wing. He's not an amazing one by any means. Certainly if you're new to the game, could be a very handy addition to your Spanish League squad. Beyond that, I think if you're desperate in any given week, could be a handy one off that right wing. I don't think he's particularly bad at all, but he's not great either. So not the most exciting card, but if you really need an option right wing for that Spanish League Challenge, it could be a decent one for that. And next up we have Kike García. He is a fox in the box. It's the first time I've had a feature version of this guy as well. He does have a face scan. It's weak for accuracy. He's gone up by 1. From his GP card, had a nice boost on the ball. His physical and aerial strength, his stamina. Lost 3 points of balance. Why? I'm tired of complaining about that, but it is stupid. And then skill-wise, gained long-range shooting, acrobatic finishing, heel trick, one-touch pass, fighting spirit, bunch of skills been added there. Pretty nice looking set of skills for a centre forward we've got here. We've got heading, acrobatic, and aerial. And first time shot. Not got long range curl. That's one that would have been nice to have. But long range shooting's there. Got heel trick, one touch pass, fighting spirit. Yeah, got a good selection of skills there. I think just long range curl is the one we're really missing on a centre forward, to be honest. Apart from that, pretty good selection. And he's kind of an alright sort of all rounder, really. There's no glaring weakness, really. He's kind of just decent in a lot of areas. You know, the awareness and finishing around about the mark where you'd like it to be. You're not going to quite hit the 90 mark with finishing, but close enough. On the ball, he's alright. Passing is not too bad. I would like through passing to improve his through passes. Pace, you don't need too much pace in the fox in the box, but he's not the quickest. Good kicking power behind his shots. That always helps. I do like kicking power on a forward. Jumping and physical, heading, 6'1". Yeah, he's kind of going to be all right in the air. You know, he's got heading, acrobatic, and aerial. He's got the shooting skills apart from long-range curler. So this guy is an all-rounder. he looks alright, to be honest. He doesn't look bad, but he just doesn't look that exciting either. So I think, much like when we looked at Dani Raba, the first player in this pack, for the Spanish League Challenge, he could be a handy one. He could come in and do a job for you up front. If you're quite new to the game, he could be a very handy centre-forward option. I don't think I could say a great deal beyond that. I think if you've been playing the game a while, you've got a lot of options, especially in the Spanish League Challenge, and I'm not sure this guy's going to be too exciting for you, but I think you could certainly do worse. Like I say, the awareness, the finishing, a bit of kicking power as well. For the most part, good skills. Just really long range curler is the one I think that you would miss from there, really. Maybe his outside curler, because he doesn't like to use his weaker foot much. But yeah, no major weaknesses with this guy, but again, just nothing too exciting about him. So I do think it could do a job for you if you needed a striker in any given week and he had form. But at the same time, I don't think many people can get too excited about this card. And next up, we have Dani Rodríguez from Mallorca. He has a face scan. Pretty sure that's back from when the days on Pérez when they gave Mallorca a license for like half a season because Kubo was on loan there. They did a pack with some highlight cards and I got this guy. He's pretty handy, versatile. He's obviously very, very versatile now. They've actually added a bunch of positions. They've made him fully proficient, attacking mid, SS, centre forward and left wing forward. His registered position has changed from right mid to attacking mid. He's a creative playmaker. That's his normal playing style. I have a feeling he might have been a whole player at one point, maybe back in the Pez days. I might be wrong on that though. But yeah, they've given him a bunch of positions there. We've had one previous version of this guy on eFootball. That was a highlight card from some kind of Spanish League MVP pack or Fans Choice, one of those ones with a kind of yellowish background. Wasn't as good as this card. And compared to his GP card, he's been boosted just about everywhere really, whichever position you train his GP card for, because obviously they changed his position. It's obviously been boosted pretty well compared to his GP card, and just about everything's been boosted really. It's a decent boost. He's got unwavering form. There's a few things to be said for this guy. It doesn't look like the most exciting card, but loads of positions, unwavering form. Maybe this could be a handy one for the Spanish League Challenge. What they've done skill-wise, we've lost dipping shot and captaincy, and we've gained long range curler. It's a good one. One touch pass likewise, and fighting spirit. He's not the strongest physically, not great balance. That fighting spirit will help him when he's on the ball and he's under pressure. One touch and through. He got pinpoint crossing, first time shot, long range curler. Yeah, this is a versatile card. You know, he's got a bit of shooting, passing, and crossing. It's not a bad one. This, you know, I think it could be a handy one for that Spanish League Challenge. I know it's not a great card. You know, nothing here looks really particularly great. He's not amazing on the ball, but he's decent. He's not got great lower lofted pass, but again, they're kind of decent enough. He's got a bit of product. Depends where you play him. Certainly centre mid. He's defensively very poor. He's physically weak. I wouldn't play him as a centre midfielder at all. And there's no defensive skills there either. There's an attacking mid or an SS as that kind of number 10 behind the attack. Is his passing good enough? I think it's borderline. Low pass 85. You're in +3 territory on an 88 red manager. So, yeah. Some might think that's okay with one touch and through passing, which he does have. You could get away with that. I would say it's borderline. I would want a bit more elsewhere to make up for the passing not being too great. So I'm not sure about attacking mid, but some people might be able to get some use out of him as a number 10. Up front, I think it's a stretch. As I was saying with Dani Raba, the first guy we looked at. Attacking awareness and finishing, most important attributes in a striker. Won't have like the playing style as well. 80 awareness, 78 finishing. Yes, he's got the skills, but I don't think I fancy this guy as a striker. Out wide, he's got a little bit of pace. He is decent on the ball. From the left, he's got long range curler. He's got decent passing with the passing skills as well. He could be decent off the left wing. Right wing, 83 lofted. A little bit of curl, a little bit of kicking power. He's got pinpoint crossing. I think this could be one of these cards where he's kind of handy. I don't think he's going to go straight into many people's teams. He's not, he's not a brilliant card on the whole, but I think the fact he's got a bunch of positions, he's at least decent in a bunch of areas, and he's got some pretty good skills for just about any position you play him in, just not centre midfield, like I say. But any attacking position, maybe centre forward's a bit of a stretch, but outside of that, through the middle as a number 10, wide left, wide right. Is he amazing in any position? No, but could he do a job in a bunch of positions? Yeah, unwavering form. I don't think this guy's too bad, to be honest. He's not a brilliant card, but for that Spanish League Challenge, any given week, if you don't have too many players who've got form in any of your attacking positions, he could be a handy one to have in your squad. Obviously not an amazing card, but he might be a bit more useful than some people think. And next up is Luis Pérez. So we've got an attacking fullback who does not have a face scan. They've actually made him fully proficient as a right midfielder and a centre-back, which is not normally fully proficient in those positions on his GP card, but that's completely useless because he's terrible as a centre-back and pretty terrible as a right winger. So yeah, that's really not useful. But he's a right back, and as a right back, he doesn't look too bad. First time with a feature version of this guy. Compared to his GP card, like you get with trending fullbacks, quite often they've taken a few points away from his lower body attributes, speed and stamina, kicking power. But he's had a pretty decent boost just about everywhere else, really. Skill-wise, all he's got on his GP card is pinpoint crossing, captaincy and sliding tackle. Everything else is new, so we've got a pretty good selection of skills here on attacking fullback. Soul control is a nice bonus. Through passing, weighted pass, pinpoint crossing, so going forward, nice. Defensively, man marking, interception, aerial superiority. Don't always get that on a fullback. Not the tallest though, and he's jumping at 80. Yeah, okay, so it could be alright in the air, but it won't be brilliant still. Sliding tackle, captaincy, fighting spirit. Yeah, I'd like blocker to really complete the set, but outside the blocker, I think we've got a really good selection of skills there for an attacking fullback. The pace is fine, even if we've lost a bit of speed. He's got a bit of physical strength. His balance isn't too bad. Stamina's good. Down the middle there, he's not too bad defensively. Could do with a few more points on some of these attributes, but could be worse. He is an attacking fullback. I don't think, a lot of people like defensive fullbacks. If you like defensive fullbacks, I do not think you're going to like this guy. But if you like attacking fullbacks, I think you can get away with those defensive attributes. And then on the ball, 74 ball control, that's a bit iffy. He's not great at dribbling. Tight possession's all right. Low is kind of okay-ish. Loft is decent. He does have those passing and crossing skills, remember. So he's got a decent cross on him. I think, again, this is another card, we're still in these 93 rated. I think we've got 493 rated in this pack. So another one like the first few we've looked at, where it's not an amazing card, but he could do a job for you. I don't think he's quite where you'd want him to be in terms of a few of these attributes. I would personally like an attacking forward to be a bit better on the ball, a bit better defensively. Maybe it's a bit better balance, but the skill set is good. And for the most part, most of these attributes are at least pretty decent. The pace and the stamina, a lot of the important ones are where you need them to be. So is it a great right back card? Absolutely not. But is it a terrible one? No, it's not bad. It's one that could be useful for you. If you've got the squad space for the Spanish League change, if you don't have too many strong right backs from the Spanish League, it could be well worth keeping hold of. Because if he has form and you don't have another right back on form, he could definitely do a job for you. But again, it's not the most amazing card, just one that could be useful for some people. Now we're moving up to 94 rated players. Things are getting really exciting now. So we've got Mauro Arámbarri. He does have a face scan, Uruguayan, box to box. He's normally an anchorman. They've changed him from an anchorman to a box to box. They've added attacking midfield and SS as fully proficient positions. His weaker foot usage is +1, but his weaker foot's not that strong, so that's not necessarily a good thing. We've had a player of the week version of this guy. That was an attacking midfield whole player. Not quite as good, but not too far off, to be honest. But he doesn't have through passing, which this one does. So pros and cons, you might prefer the player of the week card. Compared to his GP card, they've nerfed his defenses quite a bit. Obviously, this is obviously a more attacking version of him compared to the Anchorman version. You can understand why they've done that if they boosted him elsewhere, which they have. Left column, especially his attack awareness, his dribbling and tight possession and finishing. Some decent boosts going on there. Nice boost to his pace. A few points in his jumping, his physical contact and his balance. So yeah, like I say, they've nerfed his defenses, but this is a different version of him. They have boosted him elsewhere. So more attacking and more versatile than he normally is. So yeah, on the whole, decent boost. Skill-wise, looks like we've gained quite a few. Soul control, long-range shooting, first-time shot, one-touch pass, through passing, outside curler. I think all those are new. I think we've lost aerial superiority. I'm not 100% trusting of eFootball Hub right now. There are a few players where the skills are coming up a little bit dodgy. Goalkeepers having chop turn and stuff like that. And it's a few players with aerial superiority where I'm not sure they've actually got it. But it looks like he's lost aerial superiority. In fact, I'll just quickly check in the background because I want to make sure I get that right. Someone his GP card. Yeah, it looks like his GP card's got aerial superiority. So it looks like he has lost aerial superiority. But we've gained a bunch of skills there. Some nice ones as well. He's got a very good searching skills for box to box, to be honest. He's not a great deal defensively we've got in, but we do have interception, which is very important. Fighting spirit's a really good one to have in a box to box centre mid. One touch and through. Outside curve is a nice one. A couple of shooting skills as well. Soul control is a lovely one to have. So yeah, there's plenty to be said for this guy. But again, though, you've got a card where there's a load of attributes that are kind of decent, but nothing amazing. Nothing's really standing out. It's kind of just got a bit of everything, which is a good thing, of course. The one thing I would say with this guy, low pass 84. Yes, he's got one touch and through, but on a centre mid 84. If you've got an 89 rated manager, you're at least in +3 territory. But even then, you're only going up to 87 with your maximum game plan boost. It's not brilliant. I want more points on low pass on a midfielder. So yeah, that's the big concern for me. Outside of that, he's all right on the ball. Defensively, it depends what kind of role you give him. For a DMF, I'd say that's a bit iffy. He's got some defensive ability, he's got some physical strength, but is it enough to be a DMF? In a double pivot, maybe he's got that box-to-box playing style, and unless you put a defensive on him, he's going to still get up and down the pitch. So yeah, some kind of double pivot, maybe as your lone DMF. No, I don't think so. As a centre mid, kind of all rounder, I think that's where this guy's best. He's got a bit of everything, just like I say. That low pass for me is a little bit on the low side. You move him further up the pitch as an attacking mid. I think the passing is even more important. If he's an attacking mid, he's going to be playmaking for you. You won't have an active playing style, but you've got to be able to pick a pass from there, and his low pass for me is not quite good enough. And then SS. Maybe. Has he got enough technically? Awareness, finishing? The skills are pretty good there. At a stretch, maybe. I think it's just another card where he could be a handy one for that Spanish League challenge, but I don't think I can say much more than that. You know, handy, useful, yeah, but is he particularly good in any position? I think some people might actually quite like him as a centre mid, just the fact he's got a bit of everything. There's no real glaring weakness there, but like I say, the passing is the one thing that puts me off. You know, passing is super important in the game, especially since the last major gameplay update where there's a bit more emphasis on passing and, you know, more importance on having a good low pass attribute. So that's a bit of a concern for me, but like I say, he's looking pretty decent everywhere else. There's no major weaknesses, but it's not the most exciting card either, so it could be a handy one. A couple of ways you could use him in the middle of the park, maybe move him a bit higher out the pitch as well. Could be decent for you out there, albeit without an active playing style. Pretty good selection skills for most of his positions, so yeah, could be another handy one, but again, it's not the most exciting card, but it could be handy for some people. And next we have Florian Lejeune. This is one of my boys. He's a former Newcastle player, Lejeune. He looked really good for us until Harry Kane ruined his career. No face scan still. I hope he gets one at some point. This is the one card in the pack that I'm tempted by because I won it for my Newcastle past and present, and he looks pretty solid, to be honest. We've had a couple of Player of the Week versions of Lejeune previously, but this is better. This is the best version we've had of him so far. And he's had a pretty decent boost to a bunch of areas. It's kind of what you expect from a trending centre-back card. Boost to his pace, boost to his stamina, a bit on his passing. They've added a bit to his jumping and physical contact as well. Skill, he's got unwavering form. That's always a bonus. Skill-wise, an interesting one. Like I say, I'm not 100% sure what's going on with eFootball Hub. I think there's one or two skills that aren't showing up right, because according to eFootball Hub, he doesn't have aerial superiority, but clearly he does. So if you've been looking on eFootball Hub, keep that in mind, because they're wrong. He does actually have aerial superiority. They've added, it looks like low lofted pass and fighting spirit. Apart from that, man marking, insertion blocker, sliding acrobatic, and then heading and aerial. Pretty complete selection of skills for centre-back, with the added bonus of knuckle shot. Excellent. So yeah, this is a solid looking centre-back. He's not the quickest. I would like a bit more on his jumping. Yes, he has a decent height, 6'2", 6'3". He's got aerial superiority. He's physically strong, so he should be alright in the air, but he won't be amazing. The defences are all going 90 plus with the game plan boost. He's got pretty nice passing attributes for a centre-back, albeit he's not too great on the ball, but again, he is a centre-back. He's not the quickest. He's a big, strong boy. You kind of expect that, but yeah, apart from the fact he's not the quickest or most mobile, I think he's looking pretty solid as a centre-back. I think so far in the pack, he's looking probably like the best card so far, I think. A long way to go, though. And yeah, I'm slightly biased as a Newcastle fan, but yeah, I think this is a solid centre-back. It's just if you like your centre-backs to have a bit of pace about them, and there have been quite a lot of cards I've released lately with a lot of pace on them, centre-backs, so that pace might be a bit of a concern for you. But outside of that, he's just looking like a pretty good, solid build-up centre-back, to be honest. He's got all the skills. The attributes, I think, are pretty good, just a slight lack of pace and mobility, but apart from that, it's a solid centre-back, that. And we go from centre-back to centre-forward. We've got Ante Budimir. He's been playing for Osasuna. He has a face scan. We've had a bunch of versions of him, but they changed his playing style. So he's normally a fox in the box, and they've made him a target man this time. That's personal preference, of course. I personally don't like that playing style. A target man, for me, they'll just kind of stand around up front. They don't make enough attacking runs, and that frustrates the hell out of me. But you might like it. Like I say, that's personal preference. We've had a few versions of Budimir. They're all fox in the box. We had a previous player of the season one last season, at the end of last season. Overall, I think his overall rating's one lower. He had a tiny bit more attacking awareness and finishing than this one. He had that fox in the box playing style. So I personally prefer the previous player of the season version of him, but that's personal preference. It mainly comes down to the playing style, really, because the awareness and finishing is still decent enough on this one. We also had a player of the week fox in the box version of him. That was overall too lower than this one. So a little bit worse again from that previous player of the season one. So also not quite as good as this one, but again, a bit more awareness, and not a massive difference on the whole, really. If you got that player of the week one, I think you've got a good one already. There's a no-name contract version of him actually at one point, and again, overall that was 3 worse, so we're kind of going down in rating looking through previous versions. Again, a bit more awareness on that one, but this one's better in a bunch of other areas. So yeah, in terms of overall ability, the stats, this is the best version we've had of Budimir, but that playing style might be the one thing that sways you. It sways me. I would not want this version of him, but if you like a target man, could be good for you. Does he have what it takes to be a good target man though? Comparing to his GB card, we've lost 3 points of attacking awareness. Why? He's a striker and he's in the player of the season pack. Yeah, let's take 3 points away from his attacking awareness. Okie dokie. But we have a nice boost on tight possession, on low pass, jumping. Interesting. Stamina's had a nice boost. We've had there's a few points been put on physical contact, on heading, on his speed, his defending, of course. What have they done skill-wise? So again, eFootball Hub saying he doesn't have aerial superiority. He does, clearly. That's a very important one on a target man, obviously. Looks like we've lost dipping shot and I think track back. We've gained long range curler, long range shooting, through passing, fighting spirit, very interesting. So heading, aerial superiority, I don't see acrobatic finishing. That's a bit of a shame. If you're going to be putting a lot of crosses in for this guy, you'd want acrobatic finishing. It's a bit of a shame he's not got that, but he's got heading and aerial at least. Long range curler, long range shooting, first time shot, excellent. Some shooting skills there, one touch pass and through passing. So as I mentioned with the target man, they're not going to move around too much. When you're not spamming crosses in for them, you're going to feed the ball into them. And because they're a target man, because they're not going to be kind of bursting in behind the defense all the time, they will be involved in the build-up. So 74 low pass is not amazing, but for a centre forward, it's not too bad. And he's got one touch and through. So he won't be too bad in the build-up when he's holding the ball up and he's bringing people into play and so on. And in the air, he's about 6'3". Heading's at 90 before your game plan boost. Jumping's going to match it. Well, he's not going to match it, but he's going to get to 90 with your game plan boost. You're not going to quite get to 90 with physical contact, but you're not far off it. So he should be pretty strong physically and aerially. I'm just looking in the background underneath it. Well, I want to see what his vertical reach is because he looks like he could be pretty decent in the air. 277, yeah, so decent. Amazing in the air? No. Decent? Yes, very decent. He's got a very decent vertical reach. He's quite strong. He's got heading and aerial, so yeah, he should be pretty good at winning headers for you. And like I say, he won't be too bad in the build-up, but he is a tall guy. He's not got great balance. He's not brilliant on the ball, even if they put a nice boost on his tight possession in particular. So compared to other versions of Budimir, yeah, looking good if you're okay with that target man playing style. Skill-wise, attribute-wise, looking very nice. But like I say, I would like him to be a little bit more confident on the ball for the build-up. But you might not be too bothered about that. And I would also like him to have acrobatic finishing. That's a bit of a loss. But apart from that, like I say, in terms of all the numbers, it's the best version we've had of Budimir. And it may just come down to that playing style. If you like the target man playing style, you like putting a lot of crosses in, this guy could be very effective for you. He's going to be pretty strong in the air. And with the skills he's got and the overall profile of this guy, looking pretty nice. Just like I say, annoying we've lost a bit of his attack awareness, a bit of a shame we don't have acrobatic finishing, but there's plenty of qualities with this guy, and it's pretty clear what kind of striker he is. He's not going to be for everyone. If you want your strikers to be a bit more nimble, a bit more mobile, pacey and all that stuff, you like a goal poacher, it's probably not going to be your cup of tea. But if you're like a big physical dude, you like a target man, yeah, this could be a pretty desirable card for you. Then next up we have Dodi Lukébakio. So, got a face guy, he's Belgian, he's a right winger, prolific winger. Usual playing style and position. We've had previous versions of this guy. I had one version of him. I had some kind of highlight card of his. I tried him a few times. I did not like him. He's quite tall. He's not got amazing balance. He just didn't feel that smooth on the ball. I ended up releasing mine. That's not to say this one's bad. That's not to say you're not going to like this one. Maybe that's just me, but just worth noting that's what I found with this guy previously. We've had a previous Player of the Week version of him. Pretty similar overall, to be honest, around about the same kind of rating. But the stats I shuffled around a bit. That Player of the Week card did have crazy pace, even more pace than this one. I think it was like 98 or something for speed. We had a few highlight cards. To be honest, two of them, when you max them out on auto allocation, slightly higher rated than this one. The other one's the same. So compared to his highlight cards, not looking that amazing, to be honest. One thing I would say though, this one's got unwavering form. His highlight cards don't seem to have that. But yeah, if you got one of his highlight cards, you might not consider that you need this one. And obviously you can't train this version of him. Compared to his GP card, we've had a boost to his physical and aerial strength, boost to his balance, which is rare for an attacking player in one of these packs, boost to his stamina. Of course, they boosted his defending. We've lost 1 point of attacking awareness. Why? We've lost 2 points off dribbling. Why? But yeah, he's still looking pretty decent on the ball. Can't pass to save his life though. The attacking awareness and finishing are decent enough for a wide man. Good pace, obviously, very good. Bit of kicking power behind his shots, nice. He's got a little bit of strength. He could be weaker. Balance, again, you know, it could be worse, but I'd like more on his balance. So I'd look for probably mid-80s at least on a winger. So that is a bit on the low side, to be fair. But let's just have a look at his skills. What have they done skill-wise? So it looks like we've gained cut behind and turn, soul control, nice. Through passing, nice. He needs that. Pinpoint crossing. And we've lost, what have we lost? I think dipping shot, acrobatic finishing, that's a bit of a loss. And Rabona, we can live without that. So yeah, on the whole, pretty decent trade. Through passing is needed because he can't pass the ball very well. Pinpoint crossing likewise, but it depends what you're going to do with this guy. 71 lofted pass with pinpoint crossing is still not going to have a very good cross. Same thing with the low pass, but you're going to be playing low passes a lot more often than crosses, I would have thought. So yeah, he's got long range curl, long range shooting, first time shot. I think it's pretty clear what this guy's going to be best at. As a left footer, you're going to play him on the left and put some frankly disappointing crosses in? I don't think so. Are you going to play him up front with 78 attacking awareness, 79 finishing? Probably not. As an SS, I'm not sure he's got the, not sure he's quite got the passing. He's not physically particularly strong, but wide right as a lefty, quick, pretty decent on the ball, cutting aside onto his left foot with the decent awareness and more importantly that finishing going past 80 with the game plan boost. He's got a little bit of curl, but he's got some kicking power more importantly. Long range curl, long range shooting, first time shot, yeah. That's where this guy's going to be giving you value off the right wing, which is where he's supposed to be played. That's his registered position. And getting shots away. He won't be the best at playmaking. He's not going to have a great cross on him, but getting him on the ball, working him into shooting positions off that right wing could be decent for you. Like I say, I've had a previous version of this guy which I didn't like, but that doesn't mean you won't like him. You might quite like him. He's definitely got qualities. But yeah, it's just a question of can you work around the negatives, because he's clearly not great with his lower lofted passing. I would like a bit more balance on him, but as a lefty inverted winger with the focus on his ability to score goals for you, I think for a fair few people it could be a tidy one. But like I say, it's not the best version we had of Lukébakio, which is slightly disappointing in a player of the season pack. And next we have Óscar Mingueza, attacking fullback from Celta. Got a face down, that's because he used to play for Barca. He's weak for accuracy, he's +1 before I forget to notice that. But a highlight version of this guy previously, around about the same overall. Stats are kind of shuffled around about as you expect with this being a trending card. But if you've got the highlight version of Mingueza, you might not consider that you need this one. It's around about the same overall. Compared to his GP card, we've lost a bit off his speed and his stamina. Again, you often get that with fullbacks, but they boosted his acceleration. His jumping and physical contact. Overall, looking pretty decent down the right. Just that balance is a bit dodgy. Defenses have had a bit of a boost. Left column has had a nice boost. A load of points added all the way down here, so that's good. So yeah, looking pretty decent to be honest. To be honest, kind of similar to the fullback we were looking at earlier. I think it was Luis Perez. Not amazing, but could be a solid one. Could do a job for you. Skill wise, all he has on his GP card is long throw, interception, acrobatic clearance, and fighting spirit. They've added all the rest. So we've got some good skills in attacking fullback. So again, one touch pass and through passing, weighted pass, pinpoint crossing, getting forward, that's great. Defensively, man mark, interception, and again, block is the one we're lacking really. Bit of a shame, it's a very nice skill to have defensively, but we've got interception and man marking, sliding tackle, acrobatic clearance is a good one, fighting spirit, good selection skills for an attacking fullback. And again, you've got right mid and centre back, even though he's not really going to be very good as a right mid or a centre back. Centre back certainly is not strong enough defensively or physically. Right midfield, I mean, if you don't mind the fact he's bad on the ball, he'll have a decent cross on him, bit of pace, a stretch. He could be a right mid for you, maybe he's a right wing back, but certainly as a right back, as an attacking right back, even though he lost a few points off his speed and low body, you can afford that. You're going to have 90 plus speed, acceleration, stamina, decent physical contact for a fullback. Balance, like I say, is a bit low. That's one of the negatives with this guy, as is tight possession. That's not great. 71 tight possession, that honks. But defensively, it's okay for an attacking fullback. The other attributes down the left, it's all been boosted down here. Certainly the low pass and lofted, both 80 plus before your game plan boost, and he's got some good skills going forward. So yeah, there's plenty to be said for this guy. He's clearly not an amazing card, but I think this could be a handy one for the Spanish League Challenge. Even outside of that, he could do the job for you. It's not a bad card at all. Just one or two attributes are a little bit iffy. It would be nice if he had blocker, but on the whole, there's quite a few qualities with this guy, and in general, but especially for the Spanish League Challenge, he could be a handy right back option to have. Next up is Yangel Herrera. So we got a box-to-box DMF. He's normally a box-to-box CMF. they've made him fully proficient as an attacking midfielder, which he is not on his GP card. He has a face scan. He's very two-footed. That's always a nice bonus. We've had a highlight version of this guy. It's the only other version I think we've had of him. That was in one of those national rest of the world packs or worldwide, whatever they call it. Not as good overall, mainly because of the boost this one's had down the right column. But the passing, when you auto-allocate that highlight guy, it's got better passing, and passing is important. 95 low pass, I always say it's kind of borderline for me. You're in +3 territory, so you're going to get to 88 with maximum game plan boost. Is that high enough for you in a centre mid? It's iffy for me. You can get away with it. He is looking decent elsewhere, not too dissimilar to Arámbarri, to be honest. But yeah, I would like a bit more on his low pass. But like I say, they have boosted that right column. Looking at what they've boosted on the whole, I mean, his attack was, and his finishing have both been boosted a bit. His tight possession as well. Set pieces have had a bit of a boost. He's lost a couple of points off low pass, that's why it's not quite so high. Why have they done that? Centre midfielder in a player of the season pack. Yeah, worse at passing. Okie dokie. Defensives had a bit of a boost. But yeah, down the right column, pace, physical and aerial strength, balance, nice boost athletically. And then skill-wise, long range curler, long range shooting, one touch pass, nice addition. Outside curler, I mean, he's fully two-footed, so we don't really need that, but not going to complain. But yeah, on the whole, got a pretty good selection skills for a centre mid here. And we've got the shooting skills that they've added. And then we've got heel trick, outside curler, handy ones on the ball, and obviously one touch pass and through passing are crucial. Defensively, interception, blocker, fighting spirit. Good selection skills for a centre mid box to box. Like I say, kind of similar to Arámbarri, to be honest. You've got another centre midfielder who's just kind of got a bit of everything. Just the passing isn't amazing. Nothing else, nothing's really standing out. He's got pretty good pace for a centre mid, to be fair. Would like a bit more balance on him. So yeah, balance and passing are the two slight concerns in terms of the attributes, but a good selection of skills. Pretty handy one, a useful one. Would you use him as a DMF? Again, in a double pivot, maybe. He's got a bit of defensive ability, he's got a bit of physical strength. In a double pivot, could certainly do a job. As an out-and-out defensive mid, no, not for me. Not strong enough defensively or physically. As an attacking mid, has he got enough going forward? Again, the passing for me is not going to be quite high enough. The awareness and finishing aren't amazing, but he could do a job if you're desperate. But I think as a centre mid, that's probably where he's going to be strongest, and he's just going to be, like I say, another midfielder where he's got a bit of everything. Could be a handy one. It is a decent card, but I would like a bit more balance. I would like a bit more on his low pass. But apart from that, there's plenty to be said for him. It's another card where I don't think it's amazing, but especially for that Spanish league change, could be pretty handy. There is a lot to be said for him. Just there's one or two areas where I would like a few more points on him. So it is a decent card, that, even if he's not the most exciting centre mid. Next is our first feature version of Mika Mármol, defensive fullback, left back. He's got a face scan. He is normally a build-up centre back, so they've moved into left back, made him a defensive fullback. Hard to compare him directly to his GB card. Obviously, it's a position change. Is a decent boost, as you would expect from his GB card. As a left back, for sure. As a centre back, his GB card has a little bit more on his core defences, but way less physical contact than this one. So I think on the whole, this one's probably a bit more usable as a centre back. But especially as a left back. So yeah, looking pretty solid, this card. If you like it, we've had a couple of attacking fullbacks so far. Now I've got a defensive one. If you prefer defensive fullbacks, I think you've got a decent one here. You've got decent pace on him. Defensively, he's pretty strong. Physically quite strong. The balance isn't bad. Stamina's good, yeah. The middle and right columns are looking pretty solid. Down the left, I think those who like a defensive fullback probably don't mind his attributes not being too high, but they're decent enough, to be honest. Even on an attacking fullback, you can get away with these. So this is a pretty solid looking defensive fullback. Very one-footed. So has he got outside curler? No. So yeah, he's very one-footed. Be careful with him. Don't try and start, playing any passes or crosses or anything when he's not got his body shape right to play it on his left foot, because he doesn't want to play it on his right foot, and he will probably give the ball away if he tries to. Skill-wise, what they've done, not too much has changed here. They've added fighting spirit, a blocker and sliding tackle. That's about it. So not a lot going forward, but he is a defensive fullback, so he's not going to go forward a great deal. But he's got one touch pass and low lofted at least. And defensively, looking very nice. So obviously he's normally a centre back. We've already got a bunch of skills defensively, but they've added blocker and sliding tackle. So I've got man marking, interception, blocker, aerial, sliding, acrobatic, fighting spirit. Yeah, really good selection of skills defensively. This is a solid defensive fullback, For the Spanish league change especially, there aren't too many good defensive fullbacks in general. They're not as common as attacking fullbacks, really, I don't think. So especially for the Spanish league change, it could be a very handy one if you like that playing style, if you like defensive fullbacks. It could be a very nice one to pick up. Outside of the Spanish League Challenge, very usable. I think it's decent. I don't think it's amazing by any means, but you know, I don't see any real weakness there. You know, it would be nice if he's had through passing. If I was going to be greedy, maybe he's weighted pass. But the most important thing is the defending on a defensive fullback, and he's got the lot really. And in terms of the attributes, you know, has he got amazing pace? No, but it's pretty good. And everything else down the right is looking pretty decent, to be honest. Defensively, likewise, down the left, he's fine. You know, on a defensive fullback, nothing's great there, but nothing's too bad. So, yeah, he's very one-footed. That might be the one weakness with him, really. If that's the only weakness, I think you've got a solid card. If you like a defensive fullback, I imagine you'd be, you know, pretty happy to get this one. And to be honest, you could probably get away with him as a centre-back still. He's not the tallest. He's got pretty much all the defensive skills. Just heading, I think, is the one he's lacking. But yeah, if you're desperate for centre-back, you know, the defensives are kind of borderline. Physical and aerial strength, yeah, certainly the aerial strength is a bit iffy, but he's got good pace. You know, he's nice on the ball for a centre-back. He could do a job at a stretch as a centre-back, but certainly as a left-back, with that, if you like that defensive full-back playing style, is a pretty solid-looking card. This is a pretty good one. And now we've got a goalie, and it's the new Barcelona goalie, Garcia. He doesn't have a face scan. I imagine he'll probably get one quite soon now he plays for Barcelona. So he's an attacking goalie, 6'3". He's got unwavering form. He's had a really good season for Espanyol. They just about survived again their relegation fight. Skill-wise, again, I'm not entirely trusting of eFootball Hub because they're saying that he has chop turn on his GP card. I don't think he does. We've got low punt, we've got high punt, we've got long throw, penalty saver. We've got a bunch of good skills for a goalie. And we've got some pretty good attributes. So he's not got the most amazing physical profile. The height's decent. His kind of arm coverage, according to eFootball Hub, is decent. It's not amazing, but those stats are good. All 5 of those core goalie attributes are going 90 plus with your game plan boost. So you've got a good solid goalie here. Obviously the jumping's been nerfed because we always get on a trending goalkeeper. But this is a solid goalie card. Like I say, he's not got an exceptional physical profile, but he's a decent enough height and his arm coverage is all right. And these attributes are really good. So is it the best version of Garcia we're ever going to get? Probably not, because he's joining Barcelona. It sounds like he's going to be the #1 goalkeeper. But these stats are good. For the Spanish League Challenge especially, it's going to be a very handy goalie to have. It's the first version of Adel Garcia, but it won't be the last. Whether we start getting versions of him as good as this in the near future, I don't know. I'm sure we will at some point, but certainly for now, this is a good goalie card. For the Spanish League Challenge, very handy one to have. But in general, he can do a good job for you. It's a good goalie card, this. And next up, we have Raúl Asencio, the Destroyer. He's normally a build-up. We've only had one previous version of him. That was a build-up in the Real Madrid pack. Pretty similar to this one overall, but the stats are shuffled around. Way less skills on that Madrid pack version. We had a bunch of skills added here. He's got a face scan now. But yeah, I've got a Destroyer version of Asencio, and he's looking pretty solid. They've actually slightly boosted his defensive attributes. Don't always get that on a trending centre-back. 6 points in acceleration, only 2 in a speed though. Normally more on a trending centre back. Slightly different boost compared to what we normally get on these trending centre backs. So slight boost defending, nice boost acceleration, only a couple on speed. We've lost 7 points off kicking power. Not sure why. We've lost 4 points off jumping, and we've lost 7 points off heading. Interesting. And we gained 1 point on physical contact. Yay! Stamina's had a nice boost. Left column, not a lot going on really, apart from heading. Skill wise, it looks like we've lost low lofted pass, gained heading. Okay, bear with me here. They've taken 7 points off his heading attribute, which suggests to me that he's worse at heading than he normally is. But we've gained the heading skill, which suggests he's better at heading than he normally is. I give up. Through passing. Okay, Raúl Asencio's got through passing. That's a very nice bonus on the centre back. What else we gained? Man marking and blocker, I think. I don't know whether aerial superiority is new or not because eFootball's playing up, but we've got aerial superiority either way, heading and aerial. And then on the ground we've got man marking, search and blocker, sliding, acrobatic, fight experience. So yeah, we've got a really nice section of skills. We've got just about everything we need defensively. And then through passing and weighted pass. Nice. Yeah, solid centre back on the whole. It's just a shame we've had that bit of a nerf to his aerial ability. Would have liked a bit more of a boost to his physical strength, but it is what it is. It's still kind of decent enough. We will probably get better versions of him in the future, I would imagine. Time will tell. Pretty nice pace on a centre back. And the defences with the boost, all 90 plus with the game plan boost. So there's a lot to be said for this card. It's a solid destroyer, this, with some nice pace on him. And yeah, just really strange that they've nerfed his heading like they have, especially given they've added the heading skill, apparently. So I'm not sure what's going on there. Maybe that's eFootball playing up. But yeah, either way, we have lost a bunch of points off heading and a few of jumping, which is annoying. But apart from that, looking pretty solid on the whole. Is a very decent destroyer centre-back card, especially with nice pace on him as well. And in particular for that Spanish League change, could be a very handy centre-back to have. But even outside the Spanish League change, yes, he's been nerfed a bit in the air, which is annoying, but very solid, very usable. This is a very decent centre-back card, this. Next up is Javi Guerra from Valencia, who is normally a box-to-box. He is now an orchestrator, and they've also made him fully proficient as an attack midfielder. If you want to play him there, you won't have an active playing style there because orchestrator is not active there, but it will be active centre mid in DMF. He's got a face scan. I'm guessing this guy idolises Tino Livramento in real life with that hair. Only standard form. And it's another kind of solid-looking centre mid, not looking too amazing. He's had a decent boost down the left. It looks like it's the first version we've had of this guy, so compared to his GP card, yeah, nice boost down the left, especially the awareness and finishing. But again, we've lost 2 points on low pass. Why do they keep making midfielders worse at passing in a player of the season pack? So someone explain this to me. I'm getting a headache. But yeah, we've lost 2 points of low pass. Apart from that, though, left one's had a nice boost. Apart from that, the only real major booster is acceleration, his physical and aerial strength, his balance, which is still pretty bad. That's about it, really. We've lost 1 point of stamina. Why? But yeah, there you go. Solid looking centre mid, but I'll be honest, this one's not looking too amazing to me. The -2 of low pass is annoying. His defensive awareness is bad. He's not got great tackling. His balance isn't great. It's not a brilliant looking card, this. It's another midfielder, but it could be a handy one for the Spanish League change. You know, he's kind of decent overall, but he does have a few slightly dodgy attributes there. Skill-wise, we gained, I think, pinpoint crossing is new. Outside curl, that's a handy one. Track back, and eFootball Hub is telling us he's got aerial superiority. He doesn't. I don't know if that means that one of these other skills is new. I don't know. I've not looked at his GP card, but on the whole, decent selection skills. But like a lot of orchestrators, you've got all the passing and so on, but nothing really defensively there. So it's going to depend where you use him on the pitch. Certainly going forward, sole control of the passing skills he's got, outside curler. He's going to be pretty nice on the ball. But like I say, the low pass attribute, they've taken a couple away. I would like that to be higher. Are they suggesting that 85 is high enough? I mean, if you've got the through passing skill, it probably is, but you're not only going to be playing through passes, you want to be playing some straight passes to feet as well. I'm wondering if that's something they're telling us by saying, you know, they're saying that 85 is enough. Interesting, but frustrating to me. I usually aim for kind of high 80s on low pass before the game plan boost, but yeah, it's not far off. Like I've been saying with always midfielders, it's borderline. You're getting +3, so it could be worse. Some people are fine with that. On the ball is pretty tidy. Like I said, defending, you know, a couple of decent ones there, but the awareness is poor. Tackling is not great. He's not got any defensive skills, so I would not be comfortable playing this guy as a DMF. The balance isn't brilliant getting forward when he's on the ball. Someone knocking on my door. Don't care. Yeah, there's a centre mid though. Like I say, defensively there is a bit of a weakness there. But when you get him on the ball, he's tidy in possession, and if you think the passing attributes are fine, he's certainly got the passing skills. So playmaking from deep could be decent. As an attacking mid, same issue. Is the passing high enough? For me, no. So yeah, as a centre mid or an attacking mid, if you think the passing attributes are high enough, which some of you will, could be a pretty handy one. It could be decent on the ball, decent passing, but then, you know, the balance, like again, isn't great, and his shooting. I mean, his finishing at 76 isn't too bad, but no shooting skills there. So yeah, there are some qualities, mainly going forward with this guy. Defensively, a couple of question marks there, especially with the lack of skills. So he could be useful in that Spanish League challenge. Again, it's by no means a bad card, but there are just a few question marks with it. So it's not the most exciting midfielder for me. This will be a pretty exciting midfielder for a lot of people. So we've got Isco, creative playmaker like he normally is. Got a face scan, of course. Probably needs updating at some point. Weaker foot usage +1. Not accuracy, but it's pretty high, so that is a boost. This is just about the best version of Isco that we've had overall. We've had a bunch of player of the week cards, we've had a bunch of highlights, including a nominating contract. This one just about edges all the previous ones on the whole. There are 1 or 2 highlights in particular where he's a bit better on the ball and stuff, but overall this does look like it's just about the best version of Isco. He's had a nice boost down that right column, as you'd probably expect, and also to his finishing. But we've lost a bunch of points on the ball. We do often get that with his player of the week cards and player of the season, trending cards. and he is still high enough on the ball, those 3 attributes, but we've lost a whole bunch of points off them, so some people might find that disappointing. If you're not too worried about the pace, for example, if you've got a highlight version of Isco, then you might prefer that one because you can make him way better on the ball at the expense of pace and 1 or 2 other attributes. But yeah, I have lost a bunch of points there, but like I say, you can get away with those. You're still going to be in the 90s, all 3 of them, with your maximum game plan boost. Skill-wise, again, eFootball Hub is suggesting his GP cards got aerial superiority. I don't think it does. It looks like we've lost acrobatic finishing and no-look pass, and we gained long-range shooting, outside curler, and captaincy. So yeah, double touch, flip flap, soul control. You got your ball roll, double touch, long range curler and long range shooting. You got your passing skills, outside curler is a nice addition. Got a nice selection skills on Isco. Even if he's lost a bunch of points, he's still nice on the ball. Attacking awareness, the passing and finishing, everything's decent down the left hand side. More pace than he normally has. He's not the quickest. He's certainly quicker than he normally is. Good balance, a bit more physical contact than normal. Of course, you always see that boosted. Yeah, this is a nice version of Isco. On waving form as well. Yeah, what more to say? As an attack midfielder, very handy. With the added pace, could you even play him out wide? I don't know. Probably not quite quick enough, but certainly outside of the pace being a little bit low. Great on the ball. End product's fantastic. He's not got crossing. I don't know if you put him on the right, but certainly wide left, you could get away with him there. Cutting inside, picking a pass or having a shot. You know, he's got long range curler. He's got the finishing over 80 before your game plan boost. The passing is going to be fantastic from out wide. Yeah, you could probably get away with him wide left, to be honest, but I think for most people, this guy being an attacking midfielder, I would not play him centre midfield. Terrible defensively. He's not strong enough physically. No defensive skills there, but as an attacking midfielder, creative playmaker, really nice version of Isco. This, yes, he's been nerfed a bit on the ball. That might bother some people, but outside of that, he's got the passing. He's got just about everything. Nice boost down the right. It's a really nice version of Isco, this. And we have our 5,000th version of Lewandowski. Hooray! Weaker for accuracies +1. Nothing else really seems to change with his profile. We've had a lot of versions of Lewandowski. He's got a face scan, surprisingly enough. Had loads of player of the week versions of him, mostly pretty similar overall. The highest rated versions we've had have more awareness and finishing than this one, but not quite as good on the ball, not quite as much pace. There are a few versions, player of the week versions of Lewandowski that aren't too far off in terms of the pace and on the ball attributes. They're not quite as good overall though. So yeah, all things considered, pretty comparable to most player of the week versions of him, to be honest. The stats shuffled around a little bit with each version. In terms of highlight cards, we've had better highlight cards, mainly the older ones, because obviously he's getting a bit older now. It's been a showtime as well. But comparing this to recent highlight cards, pretty similar really. Similar overall to recent highlight cards of Lewandowski, including freebies. We tend to have a bit less awareness and balance than recent highlight cards, but more pace and more on the ball attributes. Bit more passing stamina. And that's roughly the story compared to his GB card, to be honest. That's the kind of boost that we've had. He is quicker than he tends to be, and we've still got enough awareness in finishing, so it's a good version of Lewandowski, this. Unwavering, fairly two-footed. He doesn't want to use his weaker foot too often, but he's pretty two-footed. When you look at the skills, we've lost a few cut behind in turn, chip shot control, rising shots, heel trick. That's a shame. I like heel trick. We've lost captaincy, but we've gained double touch. I don't remember seeing Lewandowski do a double touch, but I guess that will make people spin the pack more. Probably. I don't know. Long range curler, nice addition. One touch pass, handy one. Outside curler's handy, and fighting spirit. So yeah, good searching skills on him. I had a feeling they might add aerial superiority, to be honest. He scored a few headers this season, but no. Got heading, no. Got acrobatic finishing, and then first time shot, long range curler, long range shooting. Got the shooting skills. Got a few nice ones outside of that. Yeah, it's a good version of Lewandowski. Is it an amazing one? Is it going to be good for you as a poacher? I mean, he's got a bit more pace than he normally does. He's still not rapid, but he's not slow. He's got a bit of pace, so this could be a nice version of Lewandowski to have, to be honest. The awareness and finishing are good. On the ball, he's pretty tidy for a goal poacher. Low pass 73, he's got one touch pass, but not through passing, so his passing should be alright for a centre forward, albeit not amazing. That kicking power is going to hit 90 with your maximum game plan boost, so he's going to give his shots some welly. That's good. Physical strength, not great balance, frustrating. You're going to get that. They always seem to do that with these trending cards. But yeah, on the whole, this is a good version of Lewandowski. Most of us probably have one by now, though. Do you need this version of Lewandowski? Probably not. Maybe, I don't know. Do you really want that slight boost to his pace and stuff? Some people might not. It is a good version of Lewandowski. The big downside with it is just that we've had so many versions of him, so I don't think many people really particularly want a good version of Lewandowski. But if you do, with the boost they've given him, it could be a handy one to have. You know, there's 1 or 2 downsides. I'd like more balance on him. I'd probably like aerial superiority on him, to be honest, the way he plays these days, but it's a good version of Lewandowski, quicker than he normally is. Is he quick enough to be a goal poacher? Maybe. He's definitely got qualities elsewhere, the awareness, the finishing, the kicking power, decent on the ball. There's a lot to be said for him. Just the big question for me, like I say, is do you really need a good Lewandowski card? I think probably most people don't, but if you do get this card, it's a very nice version of him. And this is a really nice version of Julián Alvarez. So we've got another goal poacher Alvarez. We've had a few. He's normally a deep line forward, so I've changed him to a goal poacher for this card. He's up there with the best player of the week cards we've had of him. And there's actually been the 2 best player of the week cards with a goal poacher playing style are very similar to this, to be honest. So if you got one of those, you probably don't need this one. But if you didn't get either of those, this could be another chance to get a really nice goal poacher version of Alvarez. He's about as good as any highlight. Maybe better than any highlight. He's definitely as good as any highlight card that I can see, except for his Showtime card, of course. But his highlights are all a deep line forward, except for the free Argentina card when they won the World Cup. That one's not as good as this one, mainly less speed. But the stats are shuffled around a little bit. He's a bit better with 1 or 2. But yeah, this is a really nice version of Alvarez, one of the best versions we've had, and is a goal poacher, which I think most people would probably prefer to a deep line forward. Not everyone, but probably most people. Compared to his GP card, we've lost a bit off his dexterity attributes, so a bit off the attacking awareness, acceleration and balance. That's frustrating, but they're all going to go 90 plus with your game plan boost. They're all good. We've gained some speed, that's important on a goal poacher. We've gained some physical and aerial strength, a bit better on the ball as well, up into +3 territory on ball control and dribbling, and if you've got an 8 or 9 rated manager, tight possession as well. His passing has been boosted a bit. +1 on his finishing, that's really generous. Not quite as generous as +2, which would have allowed us to get to the magic 90 mark, which just looks nicer. But yeah, we're at least getting to 89. It's close enough. So decent finishing. Lost a few points of set pieces for some reason. He scored a really nice free kick towards the end of the season, so obviously he's worse at free kicks for some illogical reason. I don't know why they've done that. Anyway, let's get to the skills. We've lost Marseille turn, we've lost dipping shot, we've lost rising shot, and what have we gained? Double touch, long range curler, nice, and fighting spirit. So we got a good selection of skills in this guy. He's not got a lot in the air. You're not going to expect Alvarez to be great in the air. He's tiny, he's deceptively short. I always forget how short he actually is. But on the ground, sole control, long range curler, long way shooting, first time shot, and then 1 touch and through passing, pinpoint crossing. Yeah, not overly important, but yeah, on the whole, we've got a really good selection of skills on the deck going forward. This is a very nice version of Alvarez. You could get away with him as an SS, to be honest. You won't have amazing passing, but with 1 touch and through, 77 low, you could get away with him just behind the centre forward. That is an option for you. I wouldn't play him attacking mid, his passing is not good enough for that, but yeah, you can get away with SS, but certainly as a centre forward with the goal poacher playing style active, pace, balance, a little bit of physical strength, tidy on the ball, awareness and finishing, pretty decent passing for a centre forward, unwavering form. Really nice version of Alvarez. This for the Spanish League Challenge could be a fantastic strike option, but just in general, it's a very nice card. Before I forget, of course, he's got his face scan. I probably need updating at this point, but yeah, this is a really nice version of Alvarez on the whole. Plenty to be said for it. But yeah, the only way it wouldn't be a great version for you is if you don't like the goal poacher playing style, if you prefer him as a deep line forward, or if you've got one of the 2 best player of the week cards. One of them is a Champions League booster one with the goal poacher playing style, because those 2 are very similar to this. If you've got one of those, I don't think you really need this one, but otherwise this is a really, really nice version of Julián Alvarez, and it's definitely one of the best cards in this pack. And we have now got Kubo, of course. He gets into player of the season because he's Japanese. He has been good, to be fair, for Sociedad. I actually really want him to sign for Newcastle. I like the look of this guy. I think he's improved. I think he's a really tidy player. But yeah, we've had a lot of versions of Kubo, so I'm not sure many people particularly need this card. Got a face scan, of course, he's at about 30. Creative playmaker, right midfield. Weaker foot usage has gone up. Not sure that's necessarily a good thing, because his weaker foot's not that strong. This is, I'll make this about the 10th trending version of Kubo. We've had a bunch of player of the week cards. This is the highest rated trending version compared to all the player of the week and player of the season cards. But the stats are shuffled around a bit, and we've had different profiles. We've had goal poachers, deep line forwards, we've had peripheral wingers, We've had some other creative playmaker versions as well. The previous player of the season version of him from last season was too low overall, but it was a prolific winger, which you might prefer. He had way less physical contact than this one, but apart from that, it's pretty comparable, really. So yeah, you might prefer the previous player of the season one, and you might prefer some of the other player of the week cards, depending on the playing style and the way the stats are shuffled around. But this is a good version of Kubo. We've had a few legend versions. The most recent ones of those are better than this. Old Showtime card, pretty similar. Stats shuffled around a bit. And he's pretty similar to his best highlight cards, to be honest. I would say, actually, if you got the Tsubasa version of Kubo, which most of us did, the Tsubasa one's not far off, really. We've got a bit less speed on that card, and definitely a lot less physical contact. But apart from that, the Tsubasa card's not really far off this one. It's pretty comparable, really. So, yeah, is this a good version of Kubo? Yes, absolutely. But if you've got a previous version that you're happy with, do you need this one? Not necessarily. It's not that much better than a lot of previous versions of him, really. So yeah, it is a good version of Kubo though. Compared to his GB card, nice boost to his physical contact, as I touched on. Boost to his attacking awareness. They boost his low and lofted pass a bit. Apart from that, no other major boost really that I can see. And then skill-wise, they've taken away Sombrero and I think cut behind and turn, and we've gained long range shooting, pinpoint crossing, and fighting spirit. So we've got one touch and through for the passing, we've got crossing, we've got long range curl, long range shooting, end product wise, bit of everything. We've got some handy ones there, double touch and soul control, no flip flat, so you've not got your ball roll double touch unfortunately. But soul control certainly is a nice one to have on the ball. Outside curl is handy as well. Yeah, it's plenty to be said for this Kubo card. I personally don't think his low pass is high enough to play him as an attacking mid. As an SS, I think you can get away with that. It's not quite as much emphasis on your passing there. Wide right, got pace, balance, good on the ball. I think most people would probably like him out wide on the right, as long as you don't mind the creative playmaker playing style out wide. I personally don't really like it. I've got the Tsubasa one, who is also a creative playmaker, and to be honest, I have used him out wide, it's been fine. I do have one or two creative playmakers I've used out wide. Di Maria is the main one who I really enjoy using. But I don't generally like that playing style out wide because, like I always say, they're just not aggressive enough with their forward running. But certainly in terms of the attributes, this guy looks very handy, wide right, and then through the middle. It'll just come down to whether that passing's high enough. If the passing's good enough for you as an attacking mid, certainly as an SS could be pretty handy. He's got a lot of qualities, his Kubo card. It's one of the best versions of him that we've had. And it probably just comes down to the profile, because most of us already got a version of him. If you've got another version who's got a profile that suits you better, maybe he's a prolific winger, for example, if the stats are shuffled around on your version and then more preferable for you, then you might have a version that you prefer to this one. And if you've got that free Captain Tsubasa version, like I say, I don't think it's a million miles away from this one. So I don't think this is necessarily a version of Kubo that many people are going to be clamoring for, but it is definitely a very good version of him in terms of the skills and attributes. So yeah, not everyone's going to be too excited about it, but it's a really good version of Kubo. And now we have Oihan Sancet from Athletic Bilbao. He's got his usual profile, a whole player attacker mid, can also play SS or centre mid. He will be a whole player in all three of those positions. He's weaker for accuracy, he's gone up by 1, that's good. We've had a few trending versions of Sancet, a few player of the week versions. He's pretty similar to the best two, to be honest, just the stats kind of shuffled around slightly. He's got a face scan these days. Didn't have one when his first player of the week card came out. I've got that card and I still quite like it. But yeah, the two more recent ones are better and not too far off this one, to be honest. You look at his highlight cards, none of them are quite as good as this one overall, but the stats are shuffled around a bit. They tend to be better on the ball mainly than this one, with auto allocation at least. But yeah, on the whole, this is a really nice version of Sancet. They have nerfed him on the ball compared to his GP card, that's annoying. They boost his awareness and finishing though. The right column, apart from stamina, pretty much everything there has had a bit of a boost. So yeah, on the whole, pretty nice boost, pretty solid Sancet card. He's one of these cards though, he's 6'2". He's not going to feel that amazing on the ball, he's quite leggy. Like I say, I've got that original player of the week card of Sancet, and he's not as good as this one. And he's lacking 1 or 2 skills, including through passing, if I remember rightly. But I do still quite like it. I like players with that kind of who are kind of tall and strong in that kind of number 10 area. Sometimes it's a little bit different. So yeah, if you do like that as well, if you're like a tall, strong guy in those areas, it could be a really nice one to have. If you like your players in that number 10 kind of position to be small, quick and nimble, he's probably not going to be your cup of tea. But he's got qualities, this guy, a slightly different profile, like I say, physically. He is still tidy on the ball, even if he's not as good as he can be. Attacking awareness is good. 85 attacking awareness as a whole player, very nice. He's going to make some good attacking runs. He's going to be reacting quickly in and around the box. Finishing is decent as well. Again though, low pass 85. He's got one touch and through. Is that passing high enough as an attacking mid? That's debatable. For some people, yes. For me, it's borderline. I like this guy's an SS just behind the attack. Where the passing now, I think it's just slightly less important. And he's got that awareness and finishing. He's got some shooting skills as well. They've added soul control, which is a nice addition. And they've added long range curler as well and fighting spirit. So a few nice additions there. Not only a few, but all three of those are very nice, very welcome additions. So we've got long range curler, long range shooting, and first time shot. The awareness and the finishing being what they are. Whole player playing style. Very nice getting forward. He can definitely score goals for you. And like I say, if that low pass attribute is high enough for you, he's got one touch and through, and the passing could well be decent for you. Outside curve is a handy one, especially on a tall guy. He's not got the best balance. He's not the most comfortable, not the most kind of nimble. So yeah, he's had a boost down the right column though, compared to his GB guard. And on the whole, this is a nice version of Sancet. If I do spin this pack, I'm not sure I will, but if I did, this would be one of the cards that I'd want. Like I say, as an attacking mid, especially as a centre mid, I don't think he's quite got the passing, but that's down to you. You might feel like his passing is okay, but certainly as a centre mid, he'd be lacking a bit defensively as well. But as an attacking mid, it's down to that passing. You might think that's high enough, in which case he could be very capable, but especially as an SS, a bit higher up the pitch, just behind the attack, as a whole player with the awareness being what it is, the finishing, comfortable on the ball, decent passing, down the right, a bit better than he normally is, even if he's not the most nimble or not the most mobile. On the whole, slightly different physical profile to most number 10s, but a very usable one, a very interesting one. If you don't mind the physical profile with the qualities he's got, the skills and attributes, I think it could be a very handy one for some people. And last up, we got Álex Baena from Villarreal. So he's got a face scan. He's a creative playmaker. He's a left midfielder. They've actually made him fully proficient as a striker and an SS as well. Weaker foot accuracy is +1. That's good. He doesn't use his weaker foot very often though. We've had a previous player of the week version of Baena that was a whole player centre midfielder. Actually pretty similar to this one overall, to be honest. Stats shuffled around a little bit. If you've got that player of the week card, you like him as a whole player, you might consider you don't need this one. But he's a good version of Baena. He's around about the same level as his best highlight cards. He's only had a slight boost down the left column, to be honest, apart from finishing. There's a few points on finishing. Apart from that, nothing majorly boosted down the left. Obviously a slight boost on his defending. And then on the right, he's a nice boost on his pace, on his physical contact and his balance. And that's about it really. It doesn't sound like the most exciting boost, but it is a pretty decent boost on the whole. And he's pretty tidy looking, unwavering form as well. He's decent on the ball, decent passing, bit of awareness and finishing, decent pace. Yeah, loads of decent attributes there. No major weakness. Skill wise, looks like we've lost Marseille turn and acrobatic finishing. Bit of a shame with one or both of those. Long range curler though, we gained that. That's a nice addition. They're giving a lot of players long range curler recently. Heel trick, nice addition. They usually take that away. They've added it with Baena. That's a nice one. I like heel trick. And fighting spirit. Everyone's getting fighting spirit. That's about it really. So yeah, nothing's really drastically been changed or boosted from his GB guard really. Just a kind of nice steady boost across the board really, and a nice version of Baena. Like I say, you look through the attributes. There's some nice ones, some decent ones. Nothing looking too amazing, but just on the whole, he's a handy card. This I think is a decent version of Baena. It could be a pretty nifty card for the Spanish League Challenge. He's got the passing skills, crossing, couple of shooting skills as well. So end product wise, especially with the attributes, he's pretty tidy. He's going to be productive for you. It just depends where you want to use him. Centre mid, is he good enough defensively or physically as a centre mid? Absolutely not. As an attacking midfielder or an SS just behind the attack, the passing, it's decent enough. It's kind of borderline. You're not going to quite get to 90 with low pass. So he's kind of, is he good enough for you? For some people, yeah. For others, maybe not quite so much. Some who like the low pass to be in the 90s. Some people think it's fine in the mid 80s. It's entirely up to you. For me, it's kind of iffy, but I think you can certainly get away with that, especially as an SS. Up front, he's not got the awareness of finishing for me. I don't think many people want to use this guy as a striker. Wide left, is he quick enough? For some people, no. For others, I think he'd be okay. He's certainly going to be pretty nice on the ball. He's got some end product as well. So, yeah, you've got a few ways you can use this guy. I think mainly as a number 10 or a wide left. As a right foot, cutting onto his right foot from the left flank. Playmaker playing style, not for me, but might be fine for you. Just personal preference. Yeah, it just depends on a few things. Depends if all the attributes are as high as you'd want them to be, either on the left or through the middle. But I think for a fair few people, this could be a pretty handy card. He's got some end product. He's going to feel pretty nice on the ball. It's not a particularly amazing card in any area, but he's had a pretty decent boost across the board. He's versatile, and yeah, it's a nice version by Baena. Not the most exciting, not a kind of elite level card, I wouldn't say, but certainly got a lot of qualities. He's pretty versatile, especially for that Spanish League challenge. I think for a fair few people, it could be a pretty handy card to have. So there is your La Liga Player of the Season pack. I don't think it's the most amazing one. You've definitely got some good cards in there. Baena's a decent one. We just looked at. It's a good card, just not an amazing one for me. Sancet likewise, not going to be everyone's cup of tea, but if you're okay with his physical profile as a tall, leggy guy, he's got qualities. In my experience, he's a pretty nice one. It could be a good card for a fair few people. Kubo, do you need a good Kubo card? Probably not, but it is a good card. Julián Alvarez, that probably is the pick of the pack. I think Alvarez and Isco are probably going to be the two of the more popular ones. Both very nice versions of those two players. Got a nice version of Lewandowski as well, but again, do you need a Lewandowski card? Probably not. It is a good one though. A bit more pace than he normally has. It's one of the better versions of Lewandowski that we've had in a long time. Raúl Asencio is now a destroyer, and apparently no, he's not as good in the air, but got a lot of qualities. It's a good solid centre-back, good goalie. Guerra, not the most exciting centre-mid. We've got a few centre-mids in there. Guerra, Herrera, I think was it Arámbarri, the other one, where they've nerfed their passing a bit, and I'm just not sure the passing is quite good enough, but they're all pretty decent across the board, kind of good all-rounders, could be useful for that Spanish League challenge. What else do we get? Mármol, we got a defensive fullback, and he's a decent one, as a decent defensive left-back, a decent attacking right-back, and a couple of attacking right-backs who could both do a job for you. Lukébakio could be a handy one as a left foot on the right wing. His ability to cut inside and score goals for you could well be a decent one. Budimir, it's obvious what kind of striker he is. If you like putting a lot of crosses into the box, he could be very effective for you. Lejeune, I think, is a solid centre-back. He'd be the one I would want for my Newcastle past and present. And then what have we got? Dani Raba, not the most exciting. Likewise Garcia, but they could do a job for you. And likewise Dani Rodríguez, not an amazing card, but if you need options for the Spanish League challenge, he's got a bunch of positions he can play. Got a bit of end product. He could be a decent one to have, actually. He could be a useful card. So yeah, it's not the most exciting pack. There's quite a few people saying this isn't a great pack. I'm not going to say it's a great pack, but I don't think it's terrible. There are some decent cards in there. It's just going to, as always with these packs, it comes down to whether you've got versions of these players already that you prefer. If you've not got any of the versions of these players, if you're new to the game, you can really get some great value from this pack. If you've been playing the game for a long time, you've already got good versions of a lot of these players. For example, Alvarez, Lewandowski, Kubo, Isco. Then you might look at this pack and think, well, there's not a lot of value to be had for you. It just depends on your situation. But there are definitely some decent ones in there. It just depends on your situation. I do think the Premier League pack is a bit better than this one on the whole, but that doesn't mean it's a bad one. There are certainly some decent cards in there. But yeah, I think I probably just about agree with most people. It's not the most exciting, but there are certainly some decent ones in there. You know, Garcia, Mármol for a lot of people. And as you get towards the left, the high-rated ones, there's a bunch of cards in there that you'd have to agree are very good cards, but just depends on whether how bad you want them, how much value you get from it. So yeah, there you go. Hopefully you found this useful. Let me know what you think of the pack. I'll be interested to know your thoughts. Thank you for watching. As always, I'll be streaming soon, and then I'll be back probably next on Thursday for Player of the Week and whatever else they add to the game. So cheers for watching. Much appreciated. Have a fantastic week. Take care of yourselves. I'll see you next time.